Bowen. So this will be a good show. We're gonna talk about the Savannah Film Alliance Honors Gala coming up, and in 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Savannah, welcome to the Savannah Business Showcase, which is now called the Razzcast. We're switching it up.
Of course it is.
So I'm excited to have Mr. Bowen in the studio again. It's not our first interview. Technically, it's kind of like 2.5 because you were on another show about another podcast, and I appreciate that. But I guess quickly introduce yourself. I used to start with the scenario, but I already gave you the scenario before a couple times. So I guess introduce yourself, and we'll get into the show.
Sure. My name is Charles Bowen, but everybody calls me Bo. I am the founder of the Bowen Law Group, where we do corporate law and entertainment law, but also the founder of the Savannah Film Alliance, which is the primary reason we're here today.
Awesome. So I guess so you have the Honors Gala coming up, and I guess tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, first of all, as you know, we spent about 30 minutes debating whether it's Gala or Gala, so I will probably now that I'm hopelessly confused, go back and forth between the two terms.
All right, yeah, I'll keep saying it different.
So the idea behind the Honors Gala was, over the last several years, I've been fortunate enough to be asked to speak at various functions and in front of various organizations, and it always struck me as interesting that almost every profession in town would have some type of end-of-the-year celebration, a banquet, a gala, whatever. Whether you're talking about, the dental profession or even the insurance profession, it didn't matter.
Right.
Except the entertainment industry, which it seems like such a natural fit. And we've now, almost 5 years now, we've had the Savannah Film Alliance, and it's such a great group of people that are involved in every aspect of the entertainment industry. So we decided to try to rectify that situation and have an honors gala. Now, when you think of award ceremonies in the entertainment industry, obviously you think of things like the Oscars,
right,
or the Emmys, Golden Globes, that type of thing, where you have categories, and then you have essentially one winner and 3 or 4 losers in every category. So there's a lot more disappointment than there is people that are happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I wanted to stay away from that. So I thought about the fact that there are so many people. I mean, there's a handful of people that really are in the headlines all the time. You see their names over and over, but there's so many people that have truly dedicated their lives to the entertainment industry that you never read about, that are never in the headlines.
Right.
And that's the real purpose of this night, to really give those people their moment in the spotlight, and to highlight the accomplishments and everything that they have done, and to recognize them and to thank them for the tremendous work they've done to make Savannah a great place to film television and movies. So we've selected 8 people, and we're just simply going to honor them. So instead of a competitive award, it's more, think in terms of like the Kennedy Center honors, where you just have several people that are thanked and give an appreciation for the work they do. And that's what we're doing that night. I had a group of people involved in the industry to select the 8 honorees this year. Okay. And I told them, I really want, my goal is, my vision for it is, take the people that not only do great work, but are very positive people that when productions come to town, they invariably say, man, that person made working in Savannah a true pleasure. That's really what we're throwing out everything here. We're talking, red carpet and paparazzi, and we'll have all sorts of places set up for cool photo opportunities. There'll be, live music, there'll be great food, open bar from 5:30 to 11. What could go wrong?
Right. I gotta come now.
And so it's overall the goal is, there's been so much, kind of controversy in the headlines yesterday. I wanted a night that we could set all that to the side and just highlight the positive things and have fun. So it's going to be a fun, just really entertaining night overall.
Awesome.
But as far as the honorees themselves, They're from all different aspects of the industry, but it's really, so what we'll do is the program itself will only last about an hour.
Okay.
We'll, have someone introduce them, talk about what they've done. We'll have a little video highlight of about a minute long,
Nice.
showing them at work, showing them, some of the projects they've worked on, and then let them have, 30 seconds or so to thank everybody, and then, maybe then have a musical act between, and, move this thing right along just to make it a, everybody get an idea of not only just what tremendous people we have here working in the industry, but how diverse the people we have here are, and how they, they really spread out into every category of the industry, and do tremendous, wonderful things.
Perfect. I like that a lot. That's a brilliant idea, because I think at one point, right, there was an issue with these Hollywood movies coming and not hiring people locally, or maybe it's not an issue anymore. I don't know. I don't know all the politics of it.
The issue wasn't so much that they weren't hiring people locally as much as it was there weren't enough local people for them to hire.
Gotcha.
So it was part of building the crew base.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, one of the honorees at the Honors Gala, which is September 28th, by the way, should mention, Saturday night, is John Grace, who is the head of is the lead teacher at the Georgia Film Academy in Savannah Tech, who's actually, he is training people how to be crew members and how to work on film and television productions. So that's such a tremendous service that he's providing in growing our local crew base. And it's made a big difference. A lot of productions that at one point would have said, we can't afford to bring in all distant hires, now can say, well, now there's enough local crew in Savannah, we can come and crew up and save that money on local hires.
Nice. And John Grace is a brilliant guy.
Oh, yeah.
he's been a part of so much stuff. He's just brilliant.
Well, he came from Albuquerque, where he worked on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul out there. And so I know he always hates to see me coming, because he knows he's about to get bombarded with about 800 Breaking Bad questions.
They give tours out there, I think, of the Breaking Bad house and everything.
Yeah. It's I love that show. It's my all-time favorite.
It was a good show. So nice. So where do you see the event going? Like, so this time it's going to be an amazing party. It's going to be a lot of fun for people. You're going to have the red carpet. You're going to honor people. Like, where would you like to see it go in the future?
Well, I think that it's only going to get better, because I think if we can pull this off this year, which I am very hopeful we will, I think that people are going to see what a, special, star-studded, crazy fun night this is, and it's hopefully then a lot more people will want to get involved. We'll even get even more sponsors, that type of, we'll be able to make this night every year a little bit bigger and a little bit better.
Yeah.
This whole idea of, recognizing and honoring, the people that are in the movie industry, they call it below the line, the people that are, doing the real work, as opposed to just the big names up at the top.
Right.
I'm carrying that through to the event itself. So because so many times, you may go to a gala of some sort or a banquet, and there's the tables right up front with the I don't want to call any names, but big companies or big schools that have bought out the big tables, and they have the VIP sitting up there. I'm getting away from all of that. No purchasing tables, no anything like that. Everyone is just going to be there in the same room, the same. There's the downstairs, the upstairs, the outside. With the bands and everything playing, and so everyone will be mingling together. And I think that I want to just kind of carry that message of equality and egalitarianism, through the entire event.
That's right. I love that, because we're all just humans. We all put our pants on the same leg at a time. Well, maybe not the same leg, but you know what I'm saying.
Nailed it.
I suck at those. They come to me and I always screw them up. But yeah, because you think about. So I went to a podcasting conference, and podcasting is my passion. So I went to a podcasting conference last week, and I met some of my favorite podcasters, and I realized that they're the same height as me. I'm short, what I'm saying? They're not much taller than me. And they're all, in my head, they were my conscience, because I'm listening to them all the time, a lot of ways, so they're always in there. and I'm always like putting them on this pedestal. But when I meet them, they're just people, you know. And it's the same thing with movie stars and or you know, directors, or it's the same thing in every industry.
Right.
You know, they're just people.
Well, in the podcast industry, I mean, you've got the big three, right? You've got Mark Maron, Adam Carolla, and Raz. I mean,
that's right. Yeah.
I mean, you know,
yeah,
it's kind of the Mount Rushmore of podcasting, right there.
That's right. At least in this studio, right? Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So I love that. I love the egalitarian direction you're taking, where everybody can mingle together, everybody can meet, because that's what it comes down to. And there are a lot of cool people in the film industry, and it's such a small industry that we all have to kind of communicate anyway. You know.
Yeah, you know, we've got a lot of great reception. We've got a lot of good sponsors. Tickets are selling, so anybody interested in going, it's absolutely open to the public, and it's going to be a fun night. But tickets are available at SavannahFilmAlliance.org. You can also, if you want to go on there, if you have interest in sponsoring, you want to volunteer that night, anything you want to get involved in any way, all my contact information is there on the site, SavannahFilmAlliance.org. You're welcome to shoot me an email and get yourself a ticket. Come out and have some fun with us that night.
Nice. How much are tickets?
Well, we've got two categories, and this is what I'm really excited about.
Okay.
So you got your general admission, which is a $75 ticket, which I get that these tickets are relatively expensive, but we're also, every single penny going to the tickets is going into putting on this thing, because we are pulling out all the stops, like I said, and again, so the entire night it's all the food you can eat, open bar, and
nice.
So with general admission, the entry is at 6:30. We're straight through until the after party ends at 11, and you get to do everything. But there's also a $150 VIP ticket. So let me tell you about that.
Okay.
So if you get the VIP ticket, not only do you get to get in an hour early, the VIPs are going to have a special award themselves. So the theme of the event is Old Hollywood. Okay, and so we've got a costume designer from the movies coming in that's going to judge the VIPs on their old Hollywood attire and name the best dressed VIP. And so they're going to get the same award that the honorees during the ceremony are going to receive. And but they're also going to get there's going to be a special performance in that 5:30 to 6:30 time frame. They'll get parking there at the venue. They of course an extra hour of food and drink, but also the VIPs get a special swag bag. And just like when you go to the Oscars or something like that. And the goal I have for that is, we've all been to events where you get little goodie bags. Yeah. And then you get home and you open it up and it's a plastic pen and a cup that goes immediately into the garbage. Yeah. So I said, no, I want this to be the kind of thing that people are excited. That they open it and they go, whoa, this is cool. So the goal is, and I got a team out there now scouring for the perfect items to put in this Savannah Film Alliance Honors Gala swag bag. Nice. So all the benefits of buying the VIP ticket are laid out, there on the website, SavannahFilmAlliance.org. But I was really surprised, because I thought, as tickets were being sold, we may sell, a few VIP tickets, but there's, the vast majority can be general admission. It's been exactly the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, about 90% of the tickets sold have been the VIP tickets.
Okay.
I think, because there are a lot of cool things that come with that extra money. So, nice. But like I said, it's all on the website.
Okay. Now you're going to be disqualified from the competition, right?
Well, first of all, remember, not a competition.
Not the competition. I mean the best dressed competition.
Oh, I got you. Yes, I will be. I will not be taking part in that. I will be overseeing things that evening to make sure everything goes according to plan.
Because you're one of the best dressed this side of the Mississippi, for sure.
Well, I appreciate that, Raz.
Yeah. Okay.
Making me wish I'd worn a pocket square.
No, you're good. That's the only reason I wore a collar shirt. I didn't want you to make me feel uncomfortable in a t-shirt. But yeah, cool. So that's awesome. Why do you think it's never been an award ceremony for locals before?
You know, I don't know, but even going back to the formation of the Savannah Film Alliance, you know, it's kind of the same thing.
Right.
You know, I was meeting through my job as an attorney with people involved in different aspects of the industry, and it struck me how, you know, a lot of people had similar goals but had never met each other, never even heard of each other.
Right.
And so that was sort of the genesis of the entire Savannah Film Alliance. Let's just, you know, no sense in sitting around complaining that no one is doing it.
Right.
We'll just do it. So it's the same thing with the idea of this gala. You know, let's put one together. Let's have a fun night. And again, with all this going on with the abortion law and the threatened boycott, and you know, everybody having, you know, tensions being high and everybody being nervous, and you know, we need a night like this. We need a night to have everybody get together and just have some fun.
I agree. And we talked about this a little before the show, but you had Miss Andrea, what's her last name? Young. Yeah, you had her come and talk to the Savannah Film Alliance recently, correct?
Right. She's the executive director of the ACLU. Just for, you know, complete disclosure, I also invited the Attorney General or anyone from his office to come down and speak as well. But she took me up on it, and she came down and talked to the Alliance. She talked about, you know, it's actually very interesting. She talked about their approach, how their strategy moving forward with the trying to get this law held to be unconstitutional, how things have kind of played out in other states, timeline, you know, gave us a lot of very practical information. But in response to questions, and she was willing to answer anyone's questions, she made one point that I found very interesting, which is she would never, ever, you know, come out against the boycott. She's absolutely against the abortion ban law. But boycotting itself, she talked about, especially both her and her father were very prominent in the civil rights movement, still are. And she talked about the importance of boycotts in the past and their significance and their effectiveness. And, you know, that if people feel like in their conscience they need to do that, then she would stand behind 100% their right to do it. I think that the approach that the vast majority of production companies have taken is the right one, which is let's wait and see if this law actually goes into effect before we have to make that decision. Because in reality, who you're punishing are the people that actually work in the industry, not the actual legislators. But the you know, but again, she would not take that bait. She would not say, no, I'm not going to tell people no, they shouldn't boycott, because that's absolutely their right. And the one thing that the ACLU stands for is individual freedoms to do whatever you want to do.
That's right. Yeah, and that's amazing that she would come and speak on it. And like you said, answer anyone's question. I think that's really cool. You know, we need more discourse on topics like these instead of just social media talking points. You know,
yeah, she was so great. I had met her father. Her father's Andrew Young, who was, of course, best known as mayor of Atlanta, but he was also the co-chairman of the Atlanta Olympics. He was the first African-American U.S. ambassador to the UN.
Oh, wow.
He was a congressman at one point. You know, he was just a very accomplished man, and also a very close confidant advisor of Martin Luther King Jr. during the Civil Rights Movement. In fact, in places like Selma and Birmingham, he was the chief strategist and negotiator. Now, that's some pressure. Yeah. That's a hard job. I'm not going to ever complain about my job when I think about how just incredibly difficult something like that had to have been, you know, to go through that. But she herself, she was instrumental in getting Martin Luther King Jr. Day listed as a national holiday, or honored as a national holiday. She was very instrumental in imposing sanctions against South Africa that led to the fall of apartheid. So, you know, she herself is very accomplished in that arena as well. Very fascinating woman, and I was very happy to meet her.
Yeah, and that's the stuff you just don't think about. Like, everybody knows Thurgood Marshall, you know, but nobody knows Andrea Young or Andrea Young. Nobody knows, you know, all these other attorneys who have done great things for civil rights, for just people's rights in general, you know.
Right. Bowen putting on a party.
That's right.
I mean, that's right up there. Right?
I know. Yeah. Well, people will now because this is
You're making me feel very diminished here, Raz. Come on. I'm not going to stack my body of work up next to theirs.
well, you're probably better dressed than they are. How about that?
I doubt it. I'll take it.
That's awesome. So the Savannah Film Alliance is also really cool. So I'm trying to launch, and I don't know if I've seen them say this or not, but I'm trying to launch the Savannah Podcast Network, where I'm just bringing together podcasters in that area to kind of give people a idea of what Savannah's really like and who really lives here, you know. So like looking at how you built the Savannah Film Alliance, and like just like there wasn't an alliance, there wasn't a Gala, you know. So seeing that growth like encourages me to like keep going and doing what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a definite need for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you accomplish.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So I guess like what advice would you give somebody, because Savannah's a beautiful city. I love living here. I don't know if I'll leave or when I'll leave, but there's a lot of things that we lack as far as alliances and groups and, you know, just different things that other major cities have. So like what advice would you give somebody in a small city like ours, smaller second city, like advice for starting something new and like growing it?
Well, I mean, I think the advice is the same no matter what type of business you're in, which is, first of all, identify a need, which you have certainly done, and then don't give up. Just keep working. You know, the advice I give every client starting a new business is, if you want to ensure that you're successful, okay, set aside, I want to make a lot of money. That should never be the goal of a new business. If that is the goal, just simply to make money, that is very obvious to other people, and it's very off-putting, and the chances of success are very low. If your goal instead is to, one, provide the best possible service you can provide and be the best at what you do, and two, seek some way to improve every single day, then you are going to be successful. And monetary success will absolutely follow that. So it's like an emphasis on service and excellence. Those two things will absolutely ensure that you end up with the greatest podcast network, you know, in the United States before too long. So,
Yeah.
and I believe you can do it, Raz.
I appreciate that. Yeah, service and excellence. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Just doing your best, giving the best, providing the best.
And figuring just, you know, so many people, okay, I feel competent now, but then they rest on their laurels instead of what can I do to get better. Every day, whether it's reading an article, looking for a class to take, doing something, practicing, whatever it is, something that enables you to get a little bit better every single day, and using what you're doing to help other people, then absolutely. But every business that I have seen really take off and be successful, that's the secret behind it.
And that's what you specialize in, correct? Like business law, or no? Am I
Right.
wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
Corporate law and entertainment law, but helping people start new businesses is truly, it has to be, you know, the best part of the day every day. You know, there's so many areas of the law that are so, you know, contentious and, you know, fighting and blah blah blah, but that's an area, you know, helping someone get a new business off the ground where you can actually have a happy ending at the end of the day. So it's really nice and exciting, and I love the fact that, you know, I'm now pushing 25 years, you know, here in town. Next year will be my 25th year in practice here, and some of my biggest clients now are clients that, you know, started out just as one or two people that had a little dream, you know, 20 years ago, and did everything right, and now they are tremendously successful. So that's always exciting.
Yeah, I bet. 25 years is a huge accomplishment in any business, right? Like most businesses crash after, you know, dissolve after, what, 3 years? 5 years, something like that?
It just shows that I'm old. I think that's the only thing it means to me.
Me and my buddies talk about that too a lot. Is that, you know, some people are afraid of getting older, but I think getting older is good at the same time, you know,
Well,
because you learn a lot more.
you know, it's interesting you say that because I actually just had this conversation with my brother. My brother is a minister, a preacher down in Moultrie, Georgia.
Okay.
And he was talking about that that there's a difference in life between becoming and being. And you have to look at the beginning of your career and the beginning of your life as becoming. You know, you're becoming the person you ultimately will be. And then as you get older, you then reach finally the point where you are being. And you are the best final version of yourself. And that's when you can truly start to accomplish great things. Because you've gone through all the becoming, and now you get to move forward with being. And so I thought that was a very interesting way to look at the aging process. That really, you know, it's not, you know, that's why it's so important to learn from and honor and respect and, you know, and people that are older and more experienced because they've been through so much, and that's made them the person they are. So.
Yeah, I guess from my point of view, it's like the hard part is that the becoming seems like so long, right? Seems like it takes so long to get to the being, you know?
But when you think of it in those terms, though, this is what my brother was saying, it's like, you know, you don't look at the people that are, you know, young and full of energy, you know, with envy, because they still have a long way to go. The real people that you should be envious of are the older people that have already gone through it and now get to enjoy the fruits of all that labor. So it's I thought it being, you know, I'll be 52 this year, so you know, that it was, to me it was a way to you know, make me feel a little better about myself.
No, that's awesome. I love it. I love that, the being and the becoming. There's another quote I heard this past weekend actually. It's about like you can either focus on the gaps or you can focus on the gains, and the gaps are, you know, the failures and the, you know, so say I'm at home and my mom brings me an ice cream cone, you know, I can either focus on the gap or the gain. It's like, oh, thank you for thinking about ice cream, or I can focus on the gap, which is saying I don't like this type, or I really wanted one earlier. You should have brought it to me earlier, you know. So I'm eating something else right now, you know. So it's like you can focus on the gain, and the gain is the gain is the same thing as the becoming and the being, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess what we'll do is we'll take a short break, and we'll come back with more of the Razzcast with Mr. Bowen of the Bowen Law Group. Correct?
Yes. Razzcast. I like that.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Also, real quick though, like tell people how they can buy tickets to the Savannah Film Alliance Honors Gala.
You can go to savannahfilmalliance.org. There's an order link there. And if you have any questions, all my contact information is there. savannahfilmalliance.org.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more from the Razzcast and Mr. Bowen. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody listening. I am Raz, the host of the Savannah Business Showcase. Let's have it. Razcast. Host of the Razcast. And I'm here with Mr. Bowen, owner of the Bowen Law Group, founder, organizer of the Savannah Film Alliance, and the Savannah Film Alliance Honors Gala. I look, you switched it up. And you can find that at the SavannahFilmAlliance.org, correct?
Right, SavannahFilmAlliance.org, September 28th. Open to the public.
All right, cool. So I have a list of questions here. I'm going to try a new one that I've been working on in my head. All right, so if you died tomorrow,
okay,
deep, right? If you died tomorrow, what would you want people to remember about you?
Wow, that is really sad question.
Well, it doesn't have to be sad, but it's gonna happen sooner or later.
Doesn't mean I want to think about it. I mean, I think everybody wants the same thing, right, Raz? People want to, to believe that they'll be remembered as that they dedicated themselves to trying to help other people and to making other people better. And that's always been the focus of my work at the Bowen Law Group, to enable my clients to be successful. And that's, what I hope people would remember most.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then, of course, my amazing children.
Yeah, of course. Nice. Yeah, I think I'll keep that question. It made you a little uncomfortable, so it made somebody else uncomfortable. So, what did you have to sacrifice in order to start your business?
Wow. Security, because it's easy, I shouldn't say easy, but it's certainly possible coming out of law school, and particularly I went to Georgetown, so they had a very high placement rate with, big law firms, and the temptation is certainly there to go and, start right with a six-figure job and, but you do grunt work for a few years, hopefully one day make partner, and your life is set, but you're also never your own boss, and you're doing what you're told, and your quality of life is terrible. Well, starting your own business, quality of life still can be pretty terrible, but there is such a sense of reward and the ability to I'm going to, this is maybe sound grandiose, but my goal was to completely change the way law was practiced. And there's so many people that talk about when they come in to see me for the first time, being nervous. They're going to see a corporate law attorney. And so trying to make people feel very comfortable, make them laugh, let them see, this isn't anything that you need to be nervous about. This is something we're going to do together. We're all on a team. And, I think the vast majority of my clients feel that way. So, but yeah, I mean, that sacrificing that sense of security, that big paycheck, big payday, to get out there and do your own thing, you're going to have to put in the work and save a lot of pennies for a long time before you can reach the point where you would have been coming right out of law school.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I agree. I agree. My wife's a little different in that she went straight to a university, but I tried to get her to start her own pharmacy. She's a pharmacist, and I was like, why not just start your own pharmacy? But she wants to educate. So, that was her thing, and she's helping people that way.
Nice.
Yeah. I wasn't good in college, so I can't tell my own college story.
Yeah, I helped those guys open Apollo Pharmacy, and that's one of the things I love about this job is, every day it's a new profession, a new type of business, and to get there to learn about all of the steps you have to go through and all the hoops you have to jump through to start a pharmacy, it is incredible.
I can only imagine.
So, but to me, it's fascinating to get, not only to learn it, organize it, set it all out, make certain that your clients are doing everything they need to do to get them to that magical day of that ribbon cutting and the door being opened, and that's very rewarding.
Um, when was the last time you were nervous?
Nervous. Well, about a year ago, I was fearful of my life on a camping trip, but in terms of being like I think actually the last Savannah Film Alliance meeting Andrea Young, and after I knew a lot about her dad, I didn't know a lot about her, and reading all of the amazing things that she had accomplished and that she had been through. I tell you, I felt a little starstruck a little bit. It's just, I mean, it's one thing to, I work in the film and television industry. I meet quote unquote celebrities all the time, and typically walk away unimpressed. But that, meeting somebody that actually has made so many people's lives better because of the tremendous work they've done. I mean, that to me is, I'm in awe of it. And she really walked away like as a new hero of mine.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I should have came so I could have met her. Yeah, but I'm excited to learn more about her. I guess really quick, tell me about the camping trip. What happened on the camping trip?
Oh boy, this was about a year ago, last summer. Me and my two daughters, my girlfriend Ginger, her two sons, and a friend of my oldest daughter Elena, named Rochelle. So we're 7 of us total. We were up in North Carolina in the Smoky Mountains.
Nice, okay.
And we decided to, Ginger's mom had a book. That's where she's from. Her mom had a book of different waterfall hikes. And so we found one that was only like 10 miles out of town. She had never been to before. It said it was only about a 2-mile hike.
Yeah.
We were like thinking, all right, this will be great.
Yeah.
And we probably should have known something was going to go awry when we got to the little dirt road that led to the trailhead. And it was 10 miles of winding dirt road straight up this mountain to the very peak. And then we figure, okay, we'll hike down to this waterfall, and then the hike back's going to be a little rough because it's going to be up, but we'll be fine. We had a little bit of water, essentially some gummy bears and goldfish, and that was it. No supplies. We were thinking this is going to be hour and a half or so.
Yeah.
Well, we got down to the waterfall, no problem, and then on the way back, we somehow. You had to cross a little stream.
Yeah.
We crossed the stream in the wrong place and got on a different trail.
Oh.
And so, long story short, it ended up being 23 miles, 17 hours before we finally got pitch black, middle of the night, 7 people on this little tiny mountain trail, one person holding up a iPhone light in the very back trying to get us out. We finally get out. And that was a very scary experience. But then the scariest part is I got out, and of course we're all celebrating, high-fiving. We can't believe it. We finally found our way out of there. We're driving back. We got back to the house, and I couldn't move. I literally could not move my arms or legs. I could somebody could touch me and I could feel it.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all got to call an ambulance.
Wow. So
it ended up that I was in kidney, liver, and heart failure from severe dehydration.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I remember I was in the ICU for 3 days.
Are you serious?
Just from this little 2-mile waterfall.
Well, it wasn't 2 miles.
And I remember when the doctor went to release me from the hospital, he walked in and said, okay, Mr. Bowen, I'm going to let you go. But now, I have to talk with you first.
Yeah.
The next time you go hiking, I'm like, let me just stop you right there. Like, Doc, I'm sure there are some things you actually have to worry about.
Yeah.
Me going hiking again? Yeah, that's not on that list. If there's not a parking lot, yeah, I'm not going.
Oh my God.
So it was crazy. It took a while to recover from that.
I can imagine. It's crazy.
But luckily, no permanent damage.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, so actually in March we went to South Mountain State Park, and we hiked up 4 miles to a campsite, and I almost died from that. We had like 40 pounds off, and I was like, man, I'm out of shape. But it doesn't compare to nothing like that. That's crazy. So I can imagine what situation we're in.
It's funny because I'm 51, and but you know how it is. Inside, you still feel like you're 18,
Yeah.
like you're a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
You got this situation like that, you're like, nope, I'm 50.
Oh man! Wow, that's crazy. That's a movie. That's a short story right there.
The doctor
Documentary.
told me that another hour and I probably would have lost my kidneys. Another probably 7 hours and I probably would have died. So I'm glad we found our way out when we did.
Yeah.
So
Jesus.
the moral, of course, don't exercise. It's terrible.
I think Paula Chrysler went. It begs it different when she comes in. That's funny. Wow, great story. Great story to end on. Well, Bo, thank you for coming by again.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
When I hear Razcast,
Yeah.
for some reason it reminds me of Deion Sanders. Remember when Deion Sanders used to have a highlight on Sports Center? You'd have the sportscasters going, prime time, prime time. I can just hear it now. Razcast, Razcast.
I like that.
I'm going to work on a new jingle for you, my friend.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, please do. I love that. I'll play it every show. Well, cool. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. I always learn something when you come in. Yeah, so again, you guys can go to the SavannahFilmAlliance.org to buy tickets for the Gala.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's coming up.
September 28th.
September 28th. It's open to the public.
Yep, SavannahFilmAlliance.org.
First ever. So they can come and have a great time and meet some great people, because I've met a lot of people in the film industry just by way of this show, and everybody's really nice. It's a good community here in Savannah.
And you never know who might show up. We'll see who's filming in town.
Okay, all right. I like that. All right, well, cool. Well, Bo, thank you for coming by. Everybody out there, thank you for listening. You've been listening to the Razcast. This is your host, Raz. And as always, be the change you want to see in the world. You don't have to have $1 billion to make a difference. You can just go down the road and tell somebody you love them. So I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Peace.
All right, that was relatively painless.
I was trying to make it that way.
Talking about me dying.